My friend, let me tell you something that will change the way you see your life from this very moment. The greatest victories in history did not start on the battlefield. They started in the mind. Before a single step was taken, before a single move was made, the winner had already decided, I have won, and that is the difference between those who conquer life and those who are conquered by it. The power of the winner's mindset: when you act like you've already won, you send a signal not only to the world, but to your own mind. You say, this is my destiny, this is my reality. I am not hoping for victory, I am living in it. You stop begging life for scraps, and you begin to claim what is already yours. Most people wait for evidence before they believe, but the most successful souls believe first, and then the evidence appears. They don't ask, can I? They declare, I will. Belief shapes action. The man who believes he is destined to win walks differently. He speaks differently. He carries himself with certainty. When you believe you have already achieved your dream, every action you take carries a quiet but unshakable confidence, and confidence is magnetic. People are drawn to it. Opportunities gravitate toward it. Doors that were locked suddenly open, not because the lock changed, but because you did. The subtle shift that changes everything. Here's the secret. You don't wait to feel successful after you succeed. You choose to feel successful now. You live as though your goals are already complete. You think, speak, and act as the person you are becoming, not the person you are leaving behind. Ask yourself, how would I wake up if I had already achieved my dream? How would I walk into a room? How would I speak to others? How would I handle setbacks? Then start living those answers today. You become what you act. As if you act like a defeated man, life will gladly hand you defeat. If you act like a timid soul, the world will treat you as one. But if you act like a champion with dignity, courage, and faith, life will rise to meet you at that level. It is not arrogance, it is certainty. It is the quiet understanding that what is meant for you is already yours. Refuse to wait for permission. Too many people are waiting for life to grant them permission before they step into their greatness. They say, when I get the money, then I'll feel confident. When I have the title, then I'll act like a leader. When someone believes in me, then I'll believe in myself. But the truth is, the order is reversed. You act first. You believe first. You carry yourself like the winner you intend to be, and life bends in your direction. Final word, so, my friend, from this moment forward, stop walking through life as though you are chasing victory. Walk as though victory is chasing you. Speak as though every word carries the power of someone who has already triumphed. Think as though your dreams are already delivered to your doorstep. Because the moment you truly act like you've already won, you will watch in quiet amazement as the world rearranges itself to match the vision you have been living all along. If you want, I can now expand this into a full 32-35-minute speech with layered stories, metaphors, and rhythmic pacing, so it feels exactly like your other Napoleon Hill-style motivational videos. That way, it will be ready for your YouTube channel instantly. Victory starts in the mind. Before the world will ever acknowledge you as a winner, you must acknowledge it yourself. Before you can hold victory in your hands, you must hold it in your mind. Everything that has ever been built, every dream that has ever been achieved, every empire that has ever risen, began first as a thought, a vision, a silent, unseen decision in the heart of someone who refused to see themselves as anything less than victorious. It does not matter what the bank account says. It does not matter what the circumstances look like. It does not matter what the critics think, what the neighbors whisper, or how impossible the task appears. The man who wins in life does not wait for life to tell him he is worthy. He declares it to himself before there is any evidence. You see, there are two types of people in this world: those who wait to see before they believe, and those who believe before they see. The first group lives at the mercy of circumstances. They take their identity from what is happening around them. When things go well, they feel strong. When things go poorly, they feel weak. They are like a ship without a rudder, tossed about by every wave. The second group, the rare few, understand that their internal decision determines their external reality. They do not wait for the victory parade to start marching like champions. They march now, and the parade eventually catches up to them. You must understand this truth. The world is nothing more than a mirror, reflecting the image you hold of yourself. If you see yourself as unworthy, life will prove you right. If you see yourself as destined to win, life will arrange itself to match that vision. Great generals win their battles before they ever set foot on the battlefield. They see the victory in their mind so vividly that when the day comes, their actions are simply the fulfillment of what they already knew to be true. The game is won before it begins. The battle is over before the first shot is fired. You must do the same with your own life. Do not walk into your days timid, uncertain, and half committed. Decide right now, deep in your soul, that you are the victor. See the goal as already achieved, the dream as already fulfilled, the victory as already yours. When you do this, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to align with your vision. You think differently. You move differently. You stop wasting time on things that do not serve your purpose. You begin to see opportunities where before there were only obstacles. People sense the shift in you. They respond differently. Doors open. Conversations change. The right allies appear. But here is the secret. You must hold the vision of victory even when nothing around you suggests it is possible. Especially then, that is the test. Anyone can believe when the road is smooth and the sky is clear. But the true winner holds their faith when the storm is raging, when the night is long, when the evidence says otherwise. There will be days when doubt whispers in your ear, telling you that you are a fool to believe in things you cannot yet see. Let doubt speak, and then silence it. Let the voice of certainty drown it out. You must speak to yourself with authority. I have already won. My victory is not in question, only the timing of its appearance. Think about the farmer. He plants the seed, waters the ground, and tends to the soil. For weeks, maybe months, nothing is visible. But he does not dig up the seed every day to see if it is growing. He knows that what he has planted will rise in its season. Your dream is no different. You plant it in the soil of your mind, you water it with belief, and you protect it from the weeds of doubt. Victory starts in the mind because the mind controls everything else: your actions, your habits, your perseverance, your courage. When your mind has decided that you will win, your body will obey. You will do what is necessary, no matter how long it takes. And here is the most extraordinary part: when you have already decided, beyond all question, that you are victorious, you will find that life itself begins to conspire in your favor. Chance encounters lead to breakthroughs. Delays turn out to be blessings. Setbacks become stepping stones. It will seem as though the universe has been waiting for you to make that decision all along. So decide now, not tomorrow, not when the conditions are perfect, not when you feel ready. Decide before you have a single reason to believe, and you will find that reasons appear in abundance. Victory starts in the mind, and if it is alive there, it will not stay hidden forever. What you have decided in the silence of your thoughts will one day stand before you in the light of reality, undeniable, unshakable, and entirely yours. Belief shapes behavior. What you believe about yourself will decide how you move through the world. Your belief is the architect, and your actions are the bricks. Together, they build the life you live. If you believe you are destined for greatness, you will carry yourself differently. You will walk into a room as though you belong there. You will speak with a steady tone that does not tremble for approval. You will act with a sense of purpose that is unshaken by the opinions of others. But if you believe you are ordinary, unworthy, or doomed to fail, you will shrink yourself. You will avoid the opportunities that might challenge you. You will hesitate when you should act. You will talk yourself out of the very moments that could have changed your life. You see, belief is not just a thought in your mind, it is a command to your subconscious. It is the signal that tells your mind and body how to respond to the world. When you believe you have already won, your subconscious begins to search for evidence to prove it true. It moves you toward actions, decisions, and choices that match that belief. Think about the way a professional fighter enters the ring. He does not walk in timidly, wondering if he belongs there. He has trained his body, yes, but more importantly, he has trained his belief. He enters as a champion, and so he fights like one. The belief came first, the behavior followed. The same principle applies to you. If you believe that success is inevitable for you, you will start taking bold actions. You will stop wasting energy on petty distractions. You will speak to people with the expectation that they will respect and listen to you. You will set higher goals and push yourself further because your mind has already accepted victory as the outcome. Belief shapes behavior in both directions. If your belief is weak, your behavior will be weak. If your belief is strong, your behavior will be strong. This is why two people with the same resources and the same opportunities can live completely different lives. The difference is not luck, it is not talent, it is the quiet, invisible power of belief. Belief decides how you handle setbacks. A person with weak belief will treat a setback as a signal to quit. But a person with unshakable belief will see that same setback as a lesson, a necessary part of the path forward. They will adjust, adapt, and push harder because their belief tells them this is only temporary. And here is where most people go wrong. They think they must wait until they feel certain before they act. But action does not follow certainty. Action creates certainty. You must decide to believe and then let your actions confirm that belief. When you walk with the belief that you are already victorious, your body language changes. You stand taller. You look people in the eye. You speak clearly. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are simply expressing outwardly what you have already decided inwardly. Opportunities begin to appear because people are drawn to confidence. They trust those who trust themselves. They are willing to follow someone who moves with clarity and direction. This is why belief is not just a private matter, it changes the way the world responds to you. Let me give you an image. Imagine two salesmen. One believes the product he sells is worthless. The other believes it can change lives. Who will make more sales? The one who believes, of course. Why? Because his belief changes his energy. He speaks with conviction. His tone carries weight. His eyes hold the light of certainty. He is not selling. He is sharing something he knows will help others. Now replace that salesman with you. What is it you are trying to achieve? What is it you are building? If you walk through life believing you have already achieved it, your voice will change, your movements will change. Your focus will sharpen. You will naturally make decisions that pull you toward your goal instead of away from it. Belief is the seed, behavior is the fruit, and the fruit always matches the seed. You cannot plant doubt and harvest confidence. You cannot plant fear and harvest courage. You cannot plant self-pity and harvest success. You must plant the seed of victory in your mind and protect it until the harvest comes. So decide now what you believe about yourself, not based on where you are, but based on where you are going. Hold that belief so firmly that it begins to shape your behavior without effort. Let it dictate how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you handle challenges, because once belief shapes your behavior, the behavior will shape your results. And your results will confirm your belief. And then you will discover the great truth that the world only gives you what you have already decided to give yourself. Live as if the goal is already achieved. If you want to change your life, you must learn to live in the reality of your vision before the world sees it. You must wear the identity of your success before it is delivered to your doorstep. You must carry yourself not as the person you are today, but as the person you are becoming. This is where most people fall short. They dream, but they do not live in the dream. They hope, but they still act as if they are waiting for something to happen. They think that once they achieve the goal, then they will walk with confidence, then they will speak with authority, then they will hold themselves to a higher standard. But that is not how transformation works. Transformation begins now, not after the results come in. You must behave as though the life you desire is already yours. If you are building a business, you must treat it like a thriving enterprise even when you are your only employee. If you are working toward a healthy body, you must eat, move, and rest like someone who already has that health. If you want wealth, you must think and manage your resources like someone who has it, not like someone barely surviving. This is not pretending, this is aligning. It is becoming the person your goal requires, so that when the goal arrives, it does not feel foreign, it feels natural. Think of an actor preparing for a role. The greatest actors don't simply read lines and wait for the day of filming to become the character. They step into the character months before the camera rolls. They change their habits, their posture, even their thoughts to match the person they are portraying. By the time the world sees them on screen, they have already been living as that person in private. Your life is no different. You are the writer, the director, and the actor of your own story. If you want the world to see you as successful, begin living in that role now. When you live as if the goal is already achieved, your standards change. You no longer tolerate the habits that belong to the old version of you. You stop wasting hours on meaningless distractions because that is not what the successful version of you would do. You start speaking with conviction because that is how the accomplished version of you communicates. You make decisions with courage because that is how the victorious version of you operates. This shift is powerful because your mind cannot tell the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is real. When you consistently live in the vision, your brain begins to wire itself for that reality. Your confidence grows because you are no longer waiting for proof, you are already embodying the proof. Living as if the goal is already achieved also changes the way others respond to you. People respect consistency between words and actions. If you say you are building something great, but your daily life reflects hesitation and doubt, no one will take you seriously. But if your actions match your vision, people sense your authenticity. They believe in you because you clearly believe in yourself. There will be times when you are tempted to slip back into the habits of the old you. Resist that temptation. The old you cannot carry the weight of the new life you are building. The old you will pull you back into fear, procrastination, and small thinking. But the new you, the one who already lives in the vision, makes choices from a place of power, not lack. Do not wait for applause to feel like a champion. Do not wait for money to feel like a wealthy man. Do not wait for the title to feel like a leader. Act now, walk now, speak now, decide now, because the truth is, life does not give you the things you wish, for it gives you the things you live for. And when you live as if the goal is already yours, you send a clear signal to the world that you are ready to receive it. So wake up tomorrow and step into your vision. Drink your coffee as the person you are becoming. Walk to work as the person you are becoming. Speak to strangers as the person you are becoming. Make decisions as the person you are becoming. Do this long enough, and one day you will look around and realize that the life you were pretending to live has become the life you are actually living. And you will smile quietly, because deep down you knew it all along. The world responds to certainty. The world is drawn to those who know where they are going. People trust those who move with purpose, who speak with conviction, and who act without hesitation. It is not always the most talented who rise to the top, but often the most certain. Certainty is magnetic. It pulls people toward you. It influences how they treat you. It changes the way doors open in your life. When you carry yourself with quiet, unshakable certainty, the world bends to meet you. Think about the leaders throughout history, the ones who built nations, led movements, or transformed industries. Were they always the smartest in the room? Not necessarily, but they all had one thing in common, an unbreakable certainty in their vision. They didn't walk into rooms asking for permission to lead. They walked in knowing they were born to lead. And people felt that. When you are certain, you transmit a kind of invisible signal. It is in your eyes, in your tone, in the way you stand. Others pick up on it instinctively. They may not be able to explain why, but they believe in you. They are willing to follow you, invest in you, or open doors for you simply because your certainty reassures them. But here's the truth most people don't want to admit. If you are uncertain, the world senses that too. Doubt has its own signal. It leaks through your words. It shows in your hesitation. It lives in the way you second, guess yourself, and just as certainty attracts opportunities, uncertainty pushes them away. You cannot expect the world to believe in you if you do not believe in yourself. Now, certainty does not mean you have every step figured out. It does not mean you never feel fear. It means you have decided, without question, that you will reach your destination even if you must adjust your route along the way. You can be flexible with the method, but you are unshakable with the mission. Imagine a ship's captain steering through a storm. The waves are high, the sky is dark, and visibility is poor, but the captain does not doubt the destination. He does not call a meeting to ask the crew if they think they will make it. He commands the wheel with confidence. That certainty keeps the crew calm. It keeps them working together, and it gets them to shore. You must be the captain of your own life in the same way. No matter the storms, no matter the delays, you must hold your vision firmly in place and project that certainty to the world. Certainty also affects how you handle setbacks. An uncertain person sees a setback as proof that they should quit. A certain person sees it as a temporary inconvenience, a bend in the road, not the end of it. This is why certainty is so powerful. It makes you persistent. It keeps you from being tossed around by every problem that comes your way. And here's something few people understand. The world tests you before it rewards you. Life will send you challenges to see if your certainty is real or just an act. Many will crumble under those tests because their certainty was shallow. But if your certainty is deep, if it is rooted in the decision that you will win no matter what, then every test will only make you stronger. Certainty must be lived, not just spoken. You cannot simply tell people you are sure they must feel it. That feeling is created by consistency. Every day you show up with the same energy, the same commitment, the same direction. People start to realize this person is going somewhere. They are serious. The beauty of certainty is that it multiplies over time. The more certain you are, the more your actions align with your vision. The more your actions align, the more results you create. The more results you create, the deeper your certainty becomes. It is a self-free, enforcing cycle, but it starts with a decision, not proof. So carry yourself as one who knows where they are going. Speak your goals without apology. Move with the quiet authority of someone whose mind is already made up. Do not waver when others question you. Do not hesitate when opportunity calls, because the truth is simple. The world mirrors your level of certainty. If you are unsure, the world will be unsure about you. If you are decisive, the world will respond decisively in your favor. When you project certainty, life begins to open doors that were once locked. People start saying yes. The right allies show up. The resources you need find their way to you, and soon, what began as a private decision becomes a public reality. Stop waiting for permission. Far too many people are standing still in life, not because they lack ability, but because they are waiting for someone to grant them permission to move forward. They wait for the world to validate them, for someone important to give them a nod, for a sign that it's finally their time, and while they wait, years pass, opportunities vanish, dreams wither. No one is coming to tell you you are ready. No one is coming to crown you, to give you the title, to open the door and roll out the red carpet. That moment will not arrive unless you create it yourself. Waiting for permission is a subtle form of fear. It disguises itself as caution, patience, or humility, but beneath it is the fear of acting without someone else's approval. It's the fear of being wrong, of looking foolish, of stepping forward and being met with silence instead of applause. But here is the truth. The world belongs to those who take it, not to those who wait for it to be handed to them. Every great leader, every successful builder of dreams, every pioneer who changed history, they all had to begin without permission. They had to declare themselves ready long before anyone else did. If you study the lives of great achievers, you will see a pattern. They did not wait for the perfect moment. They acted while the conditions were still imperfect, while the doubts were still loud, while the resources were still scarce. They decided that their vision was enough to justify action, and then they moved. When you wait for permission, you give away your power. You hand over control of your life to the opinions of others, to the pace of circumstances, to the unpredictable kindness of fate. And once you do that, you have no authority over your own destiny. You must understand this. Your dream is your responsibility. It was given to you, not to the world. The vision you hold in your heart is not for a committee to approve. It is not for the masses to agree on. It is yours, and yours alone, to bring into reality. Do not confuse waiting for permission with preparation. Preparation is wise. It strengthens you, equips you, and increases your chance of success. But there is a line between preparing and stalling. Too many hide behind the mask of "I'm not ready yet," when in truth they are simply afraid to act without someone else's blessing. Here is the harsh truth. There will never be a day when you feel 100% ready. You will never have every resource, every skill, every piece of information you think you need. And if you let that fact stop you, you will still be standing in the same place 10 years from now. Think of a young bird learning to fly. No one gives it permission. No one checks the wind and says, "Yes, now is the perfect time." It steps to the edge and it jumps, not because it is sure the flight will be perfect, but because it knows the only way to learn is to leap. You must do the same. Stop asking the world if you are allowed to chase your dream. Stop seeking approval from people who have never dared to chase their own. Stop measuring your readiness by someone else's standards. The moment you decide to stop waiting for permission, you take back control. You no longer waste time trying to please those who will never understand your vision. You stop hesitating at doors that will never open for you and start building your own. And here's the most powerful part. When you act without permission, you give yourself momentum. That momentum builds confidence, and that confidence attracts the very support you once thought you had to wait for. People respect action. They respect those who move forward without needing to be pushed. Do not let fear disguise itself as wisdom. Do not mistake inaction for patience. The longer you wait for someone to tell you it's your time, the more opportunities you lose to someone who had the courage to act without being told. Your life is happening now. Your moment is not on some far horizon. It is here, in this day, in this decision. So step forward, claim the vision, act on it, walk into the arena before someone announces your name, because if you are waiting for the world to give you permission to be great, you will wait forever. And the greatest tragedy of all would be to leave this world with your potential still locked inside you all because you were waiting for a green light that only you could turn on. There is a certain magnetic force that exists in the mind of one who acts as though the victory is already theirs. This force is unseen, intangible, and yet as real as the pull of gravity. It draws to you the very circumstances, people, and opportunities that you require to fulfill your purpose. But this force does not awaken in the timid, the hesitant, or the doubtful. It only responds to the one who lives and moves as though their success is an accomplished fact. To act like you've already won is to place yourself in harmony with the law of cause and effect. Your thoughts are the cause. Your results are the effect. When your thoughts are already saturated with the vibration of triumph, your actions begin to align with that vibration. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you make decisions, everything becomes stamped with a seal of confidence that commands the attention of life itself. You see, The universe does not respond to your words alone, it responds to the energy behind them. You can tell yourself 1,000 times, "I will succeed," but if the tone of your inner voice is drenched in uncertainty, your results will mirror that uncertainty. But when your inner tone carries the calm authority of one who has already secured the prize, your outer world begins to rearrange itself in astonishing ways to reflect that certainty. When you move through life with this inner assurance, doors begin to open. People sense something in you. Though they may not be able to name it, they are drawn to it. They feel they can trust you. They feel you are capable. They feel you are destined for something great. And because people tend to align themselves with those who are already moving toward victory, they offer support, connections, and opportunities that they would never extend to the uncertain wanderer. This is why great leaders and achievers carry themselves with the dignity of one who has already arrived at their destination. Even when they were unknown, even when they had no visible proof of their success, they carried themselves as though the evidence were already before them. That inner certainty acted as a beacon, attracting the conditions necessary for their dreams to take shape in the physical world. Now you may be wondering, but what if I don't feel that certainty? What if my reality looks nothing like victory? The answer is simple. You must practice it into existence. This is not pretending in the shallow sense. It is an act of creation. Just as an actor steps into a role until it becomes second nature, you must step into the role of your victorious self until it feels as natural as breathing. Stand the way you would stand if you were already successful. Speak with the tone you would use if you had already achieved your dreams. Make decisions with the clarity of one who knows the outcome will serve them. In doing so, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to believe, and when your mind believes, your actions become bold and decisive. You stop hesitating, you stop second-guessing, you stop waiting for permission. You begin to operate with the freedom and confidence of one who is already in possession of the reward. This shift changes not only how the world responds to you, but how you respond to the world. Obstacles that once seemed insurmountable now appear as temporary inconveniences. Setbacks no longer shake your belief. They merely test your resolve. You are no longer knocked off course by the winds of doubt because your eyes are fixed firmly on a destination that, in your mind, is already yours. The paradox is this: you must act as though you have already won before the evidence appears, and by doing so, you create the evidence. It is not magic. It is the natural consequence of living in harmony with your desired reality. You are not waiting for proof. You are becoming the proof. And as you hold this state, life itself bends in your favor, bringing the unseen into the seen, the imagined into the tangible. Do this, and you will witness a transformation so profound that you will look back and realize it was not the world that changed first, it was you. And because you changed, the world had no choice but to follow.